Hello there, my very good friends. On this wrestling news video, AEW pay-per-views are too damn long, apparently.
Oh good, there's more AEW and WWE head-to-heads coming up.
Actually good, we've got an update on Jim Ross post-surgery.
And more details on the Double or Nothing main event. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the After News.
Big AEW video this one,
Yeah.
all 4 stories related to the Tony Khan helmed promotion.
For news on the Vince McMahon helmet promotion, that's the morning news.
Yeah, check that one out, it's mental. But right, we're going to dive into that debate that everyone loves.
Oh, joy.
Everyone loves, and there's always lots of middle ground. And lots of,
People
friendly,
love to debate this,
friendly discussion. AEW pay-per-views, are they too long? So this is a story from Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Live, who states that people within AEW actually feel like the shows are a little bit too long. I'm going to read you what Alvarez said, and then we will discuss it. Yesterday, I spent the whole day talking to all sorts of people in AEW. I will say with one exception, because if I say everybody, then you know what happens, basically.
Yeah.
But it was actually everybody. Every single person was like, these shows are too long. We all know it. They should all end before midnight on the East Coast. Every single person in the company that I talked to, except Tony, because I don't talk to him, every single person was like, they're too long. He just does it. We can't stop it. There's nothing that can be done. The shows are too long. Everybody knows it except Tony and a small handful of the sickos that would watch the show even if it was 9 hours long. 9-hour show would be, WrestleMania 35 was like 7. So, not sometimes there have, I think there's like a big egg, like an All Japan Women's show that's like 9 hours long or something. But hey.
A Le Mans-esque wrestling show.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a debate that comes up every single time. It feels like AEW has a pay-per-view.
Yes.
It's not PLE, different terminology, yada yada yada. My take on it is that I don't have a problem with a 12-match show.
No?
I feel like there could be a bit more variety in terms of match length.
I agree.
Personally, I feel like sometimes you can get everything you need to do done in about 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm not saying that Hangman versus Will Ospreay should have been 10 minutes long.
No.
Because, sometimes you should have the epic match. But I feel like, maybe they could trim a few matches here and there. I don't think that would do any harm. And it would probably shave a bit of time off the total runtime.
Yeah, and let me preface this by saying often, we complain about, oh God, these AEW shows are too long. And people,
I don't.
People, I should say when I say we, I mean me and the Daddy Boys. And check out, by the way, our Double or Nothing review, which is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast from, where we heap praise on this show because it was really good over the weekend.
Yeah, it's a great show.
But a lot of people, quite rightly, say, well, the only reason you're moaning about it is because we don't get to sit down at like 7 p.m. at night and just sit there and enjoy it. We're there going, right, it's a 4.5-hour show. I've got to be leaving for work at 8 o'clock in the morning, which means I'm going to have to get up at this time to be able to watch it all the way through. And you're weirdly sort of starting to watch the show before it's even finished, unless you're watching it live and then getting 2 hours sleep or whatever. I will say Double or Nothing was on the bank holiday weekend here in the UK, so we had the pleasure of being able to just sort of enjoy that at our leisure if we didn't want to stay up a ridiculous o'clock in the morning to watch it live. Having said that, I completely agree, and the Dadley said as much as well yesterday with regards to match length. I was not sat there going, another bloody match, watching Double or Nothing, because it was a great show. Was there a couple of matches I thought, probably could have put this on Dynamite? Yes, although then again, any match that goes on after Anarchy in the Arena, aside from the main event, of course, you are a bit like, this is your piss break match, isn't it? This is just like unfortunate for, Paragon and Don Callis family.
Yeah.
I can barely remember that match looking back a couple of days later because of that. Having said that, the Dadleys said as much. Aside from, Anarchy in the Arena, because it was like 35 minutes and it flew by because it was bonkers.
It was chaos, yeah.
Aside from that, I think, most of those matches on that card could have lost 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Did FTR and Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness need to go, whatever it was, 22 minutes? Probably not.
That's the thing, and I really liked that match. I thought it was really good. But yeah, there's instances where you could take time off. And I reckon Tony's mindset with this, and obviously I have not spoken to Tony Khan, he probably thinks I'm a raging idiot. His mindset with this is probably, hey, I just want to give everyone the time that they want to tell their story or whatever, like give them the full canvas, and that's very benevolent to a degree, but also at the same time, maybe some of these matches could be cut down a little bit. I agree. I wouldn't go down a lot of people go, 10 matches, 11 matches, whatever. I wouldn't necessarily go down that route because you only really get one of these every 2 months.
Yeah.
And if you go down that route and you start taking matches away, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get even more people sitting there going, why isn't this wrestler on the card? Or where's this title? Where's this? Why is that not there? And it's like, well, you wanted less on the card, baby. I
like the difference between both companies as well. Like a 5-match card from WWE, and then but then you get the variety of lots of matches on this card.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I'm not one of these people who thinks you need a break between matches. I don't need 20 minutes.
No.
Just sit there and go, yes, another Slim Jim commercial.
Yes, it's certainly not if you're not in attendance.
Yeah, this commercial for a wrestler we fired last month, please. So I don't need that. I don't need that crap. Get me going again within 5 minutes. I'm good, baby. Play your little video package. I don't need the whole...
Yeah.
I don't understand these people who need 15, 20 minutes between matches. What's wrong with you? Just, get your energy back up. It's not hard. Have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
It's good. With this complaint, there is an assumption that it just was created by moany British YouTubers, and please don't call me British. But
how dare you?
But it would be unself-aware to not acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be the person who's sitting here going, "Oh no, I got another great match to watch. What a hardship in my so difficult life where I talk about wrestling for a living and I work 40 hours a week and I have the most incredible work-life balance because every day I come to work." Working with my friends all day, creating fun content. I've got it so hard. Tony, why have you added a tag team match to this show? Oh, woe is me. I don't want to give that impression off. Just think maybe 2 or 3 matches could be a little shorter. I love a ripping 10-minute match.
Yes.
My favorite match of all time, Shibata Ishii, is 11 minutes.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. More of that would be cool.
Yeah, exactly. And there's an interesting debate around I've paid whatever it is, $50 for it. I want to get my money's worth. Well, you can still get your money's worth, like you say, in a 10-minute match. It's a bit like I saw someone said this, and I apologise, I've forgotten their name on our live chat yesterday when we were talking about Double or Nothing. People saying, "Well, I want it to go as long as possible because I've paid my money here." That's like saying, "Well, I've paid for a ticket at the cinema, so I want a 4-hour film."
Yeah.
90-minute films are class.
Why are you making a quantity over quality?
Yeah.
For me, I listen to a lot of punk and hardcore music, and it's shorter songs by default. If I'm paying 25 quid for a vinyl, I would rather have 18 minutes of killer material than 60 minutes where there's 2 good songs and the rest all mid.
But this is not us saying that AEW shows should be limited to 2.5 hours or whatever. Yeah, it could be 3.5, 4 hours long.
Sure.
But just
there's no number.
Trim the fat from some of the matches.
Exactly. There's no set number that's too long.
No.
There are 5-hour wrestling shows that fly by and are awesome. There are 2-hour wrestling shows that feel way too long.
Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah, and feel like a slug. So there's no magic number or whatever. I think that maybe there is a little tweaking. But the thing is, if they don't change it and the shows remain in the current format, I'm also fine with that.
Yeah, and judging by what happened on Sunday, where were they? Phoenix?
Yeah.
Was it for Double or Nothing?
Glendale.
Glendale, sorry, Arizona. Yes. Yeah. And
maybe I got that wrong. If we got that wrong, Arizonians, let us know.
It was a lovely setting, regardless. That crowd didn't burn out. I think that's the danger sometimes when it's like a 4.5 hour show. Is you get to something as amazing, and we'll talk about it in a bit, as Paige Ospreay, and they've seen Anarchy in the Arena. They were still up for Ospreay Paige, so fair play. So I will understand if they don't change anything, and then they haven't in the last few years. So fair enough, and the audience still love it. So there we have it.
One small aspect of this. From a live fan perspective, the show should finish while there's still public transport available.
That's true.
Yeah, if you're finishing after all the trains and the buses and whatever have gone and the metros or whatever, that's rough because then, people are forking out $200 for gouged Ubers.
Both of the big wrestling companies have more money than sense. Just maybe say to local authority, we're doing this show on Sunday. If you want to run it long, how much to run some extra buses or trains or whatever it may be.
That would be good. That would be a good thing.
But if you thought there was a lot of wrestling over the weekend, Saturday Night's Main Event, Double or Nothing, and NXT Battleground, of course, expect more of that sort of thing. With Brian Alvarez, Wrestling Observer Live reporting, that more of this sort of thing is coming our way. Alvarez saying, I was told at this point, don't ask me for more details because I don't have them. But at this point, there are at least 2 other instances coming up this year where they plan on doing head-to-heads with AEW and these big long weekends. WWE is talking about there, of course, who are I mean, let's be honest, counter-programming all of AEW's big shows. It was kind of bad enough that WWE just so happened to announce Saturday night's main event and very recently, awesome show, but we know what you're doing, Evolution 2 for the first weekend in July, where the big AEW All-In show goes down in Texas. And then, I think it was yesterday, it was confirmed that also on, is it the 12th of July, All-In, I think it is?
That ballpark.
That sounds about right. Also, that afternoon, because All-In's earlier, which is good for us here in the UK.
8 p.m.
NXT's going to run the Great American Bash. So they're going to do it again. They're going to keep doing this, and it's understandable. Well, it's not okay, but it's understandable why they're doing it.
I think it's okay.
Well,
it's competition, baby.
Yes. They'll never acknowledge it as much. They're like, we just want to make it a big, epic weekend of wrestling.
So listen, I like weekends where I wake up and Sunday and it's like, oh, I've got 3 wrestling shows to catch up on.
Wall-to-wall wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I will pick the one I'm most excited for, and then I'll maybe go and look at some of the reviews of the other ones, pick out some matches here and there before I consume the whole. I like that. More wrestling. I think that's fun. Now, I think that your opinion on this probably is defined by your fandom a little bit. I think that if you love AEW and you hate the Fed, you're probably looking at this going, oh, they're like as some kind of attack. And look, here's the thing: you can like what you like. You can be a hardcore this fan, that fan, and you can hate the other one. It's totally fine. It's taste. You're allowed to do that. I think that if you don't think that WWE are doing this on purpose, I have some magic beans and a haggis hunting license I would like to sell you.
That's so sweet yesterday about this.
Of course they're doing all. It's what they do. It's what they've done since they first started going national in the 80s. It's what and look,
they've not just gone that weekend. Oh, what are the chances?
Yeah, so we've got this past weekend with NXT going head-to-head with Double or Nothing. We've got the upcoming All-In stuff, like you mentioned. We've got the European tour that WWE just so happens to be doing around the same time.
I mean, that's great for us. That's awesome.
Yeah, we get to go to multiple shows. But like, yeah, I think that I mean, of course they're doing it on purpose. Yeah. It's a competitive environment. They're trying to undermine the competition. That's exactly what they're doing. However, from a fan's perspective, for me, I really enjoyed, man, like this weekend. I got to wake up. I watched Double or Nothing, and then I was like, ooh, this Stephanie Vaquer Jordan Grace matches. Oh, I watched the Sol Ruka one. I watched the Miles Bourne too. Oh, cool. Also, I've got the entire Saturday night's main event to catch up with. I like that.
Yeah.
I like having more wrestling to watch. It's good.
I will say AEW are handling it a lot better in terms of, I mean, they can handle it whatever the way they want to, because like you say, they're this upstart promotion that WWE just like, no, stay down you. But I thought like Tony's response at the press conference was kind of a lot classier than like, I've got loads of money and I'll do whatever. Like,
not as funny, Phil.
Not as funny.
Not as funny.
But it is
Let's
just like,
go.
We know what they're doing, but we're just going to keep putting on shows because, at the end of the day, it sort of is a war and isn't a war. Like, it's not the same as it was when it was first kicking off.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt that they're trying to not eliminate the competition, but counter-program the competition.
And they're trying to undermine them and reduce their ticket sales.
Exactly.
And look, if I worked for AEW, I would absolutely hate this. I would be pissed off at this to the nines. But I don't. So I'm a consumer. I'm a fan. I'm a viewer.
We're paid shills, as we're often told.
Yeah. Listen, my opinion can change depending on which company gives me the most money that month. Everyone knows.
Needs a new watch.
Everyone knows how this works. Yeah, help me out with my mortgage, brother. But jokes aside, of course it's on purpose. But like, if you're just a viewer and you're chilling and you don't place your flag on either company and you're not super tribal or whatever.
I've dual screened it on Saturday night.
I mean,
Sunday night.
That's mental. That'll destroy your attention span if it isn't already broken. Just I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to turn into an enjoy wrestling guy, but in this case, kind of do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to I don't know. You don't have to.
If you don't like WWE and they're counter-programming your favorite program, don't watch it.
Yes, it's really simple. Really simple.
And like you say, if you then hear, oh, there's a really good match, cool, go back and watch. Go back, genuinely, if you haven't, by the way, go back and watch Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace because it's class.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Just I don't know. I feel for years and years and years we had this monopoly where it was like one shop and you had to dig deeper for alternatives. Now you've kind of got two. I mean, it's
and the fact that AEW's putting this pressure on them makes them book better shows.
Come on, let's just move on to Jim Ross.
Why can't we all just get along, eh?
Yeah, let's talk about Jim Ross.
Hey, everyone likes Jim Ross.
Big update on Jim Ross. Good news. So recently he revealed that he had been diagnosed with colon cancer, which is the third time in like 4 years he's fought cancer in some form. He had the situation with his foot, and he also had, I believe, a hip operation in 2024. He's been through it, man. Jim Ross has been through a lot, and obviously, like his wife passing away. Like he's the man has had a lot to deal with.
Lovely tribute to him on Double or Nothing as well.
Yeah, it was really well done. So he announced on Grill and JR that he was going in for surgery. The surgery was yesterday. And he posted on Twitter saying, checked in and ready to kick this cancer out on its ass. Some good news from Conrad Thompson, who tweeted shortly after this saying, just heard from Raphael Morphy, former AEW events guy. The JR surgery went well and they hope to have successfully removed all of his cancer this morning. Please keep JR in your thoughts and prayers as he begins his recovery. I don't think we've had anything since then, but that's good news. That's positive news. Look, it's Jim Ross, man. Like, Jim Ross is the best wrestling announcer of all time. If you are anyone with even a peripheral knowledge of the New Generation era, the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression, and beyond, you know who he is. Every casual fan knows, my God, he's broken him in half, or Stone Cold. If you're fans of a certain...
the voice of wrestling.
He is. If you're fans of a certain vintage, you go back and you watch his younger days in Crockett and places like that on the territories. And and his AEW run has definitely had a few ups and downs, but like it's Jim Ross.
He's found his place now, I think.
Yeah, definitely. He's the GOAT at this. Hearing his tones will never not make me feel nostalgic. So all the best, Jim, obviously, in your recovery. I'm glad the surgery went well. And please, for the love of all that is good and pure in this universe, can we give this man a break for a few years? Can we not have... I don't know, I don't believe in fate or anything like that, but like the volume of health issues and like personal tragedies and stuff that he has had to deal with is absolutely brutal. It's horrible. I hope that he just has a peaceful... The rest of his years should be nothing but peaceful.
Yeah.
Karma has been really cruel to him, and I hope coming out of this, no more of this.
No.
Nicer
Peace,
days
wrestling
ahead.
and barbecue sauce.
Hell yeah. Well grilled meats.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, cancer's a bitch, man. I'm sure he'll be all right with me mentioning this. Phil Chambers has done a bit of a fundraiser. Well, I shouldn't say him. His dad is doing a bit of a fundraiser. He's been battling cancer recently, and it's an epic cause. All the details, it's amazing. He talked about it on WhatCulture. It got a bit emotional. Check it out at Phil My Chambers on X, because screw you, cancer.
Yeah.
Finally, let's talk a bit about the main event of Double or Nothing. That amazing clash between Will Ospreay and Hangman Page to win the Owen Cup and go on to face, presumably, unless something happens in the next few weeks, Jon Moxley for the AEW World title at All In. Now, I think a fair few of us, me and Sidge talked about this yesterday, quite a few people assumed Will Ospreay was winning that match. Hangman Page, spoilers, although what are you doing? It was the one who actually won it and has punched his ticket to Texas. But some really interesting details has come out through PW Insider and Fightful with regards to how that finish came about. We talked about yesterday how close to the vest they were keeping the result, basically, and how there was no leaks about who was going to win that match, and that was almost what made it so enjoyable and so unpredictable. Apparently, according to PW Insider, the result wasn't finalised until hours before the show. There was quite a bit of back and forth on it. Yeah, from what I've heard from Fightful as well, basically both wrestlers were like, I think you should win it. No, I think you should win it. What's happened to this business, huh? No.
What happened to the game that I love?
Lovely stuff, that. And also the feeling backstage was a bit of shock, according to Fightful, that it wasn't just a straightforward Will Ospreay win. Tony Khan was very non-committal throughout and sort of said, look, you two settle it between the two of you. And I think it makes a lot of sense, because either man has a phenomenal story going into All In. Yeah. It is fascinating. We've got Dynamite tonight, and one of the big talking points we're going to be talking about on the Dynamite preview is, where does Will Ospreay go from here? Because we all assumed, right, okay, he didn't have the bit at All In last year in London, but they'll just do it All In Texas, and he finally wins the world title. Now, He's a bit like Cody Rhodes after he lost at WrestleMania 39. What the bloody hell do you do now?
Except without the rubber chicken.
Yes, and shame that. But you've got Hangman Page, this redemption arc, but he's still got that potential of the crisis of confidence going on there. But then again, All In Texas Cowboy winning the world title, finally making it back to the promised land. It's an amazing story, and I can understand why they were like, to be honest, it doesn't really matter who wins, but interesting that it was kind of up in the air and left to them two to really settle it.
I don't really have any problem, like the story about them, neither man wanting to win or whatever, however you phrase it. That's not the best way of phrasing it. Both men campaigning for the other to win.
Yes,
doesn't really bother me. I saw a lot of people get annoyed by this, but ultimately they've got a man who is there at the end of the day to make the final call. That man is Tony Khan, and that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did.
Taker said before, he said, I think you should break the streak, and people have gone, I shouldn't break the streak.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if Tony himself wasn't sure until the end, it's reflective of the feelings of people going into the match, because there was definitely a lot of people who felt that this person can't lose and this person can't lose. Said yesterday, I'll say it again, I think the idea that somebody can't lose is complete nonsense. You can tell so many different stories with a loss in a situation like this. I actually think Will Ospreay's loss is better in the long term. If you really wanted to, I'm so fed up of like one note or impatient wrestling stories where everything's just resolved. If you really want to hammer home the story of Will Ospreay not being able to win the big one, he has to lose multiple times in big spots. He can't just lose his world title match and then lose in the Continental Classic last year or whatever. And was he even in that? Have I made that up?
No, I think you're right.
You can't just do it twice and then go, well, story's done. You have to do it a few times to really hammer it home. So I'm all in favor of this. I also think that Hangman Page winning the heart and soul of the company, winning the title from Jon Moxley, whose narrative is trying to rebuild it in his image or whatever, it's kind of perfect. It's kind of perfect. And look, the Death Rider storyline, I think that a lot of people are stuck in 6 months ago with this now. I think that this has actually gotten pretty good. Pretty good.
Because there's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm warming to it,
It's just the identity crisis stuff is kind of gone. They've largely... they bleached that off. They've largely just become a functional heel unit. And now everybody is desperate to see Jon Moxley lose that title. Who better to do that against than the heart and soul, who many people view as like the main character, is a common phrase. I think this is actually getting really good. So, hey, I'm probably going to get... This is a weird video. Going to get called a WWE shill for some stories. Now I'm saying Death Rider's good. I'm probably an AEW shill too. Whoever pays, like we said, whoever pays the highest.
I will say that I think what should happen is, Hangman Page finally wins the belt back at All In Texas, and there's a wonderful moment in Texas. The Cowboy opens the briefcase. Oh no, goo! Right? Because we all like that, didn't we? With the Money in the Bank briefcase. So
yeah, that was great.
So let's do that.
Maggots or something, just.
But yeah, and tell you what, let us know in the comments, who should Will Ospreay face at All In? Because it's fascinating to see where he goes from here too.
It is good stuff.
There you go.
As we always say.
But you want to hear us talking about Vince McMahon rebuying WWE? Yep, it's here. Check it out.
It's a real turkey-neo.
Bye.
Bye.